Okay, there you go. Now I think y'all can hear me. What's happening? What's happening? I make that a lot. SOP motherfucker. What's happening, gang? Sir and Pick. What's happening? Sacktown Dawn. What's happening? Tonight, we stepping in. We stepping in and stepping out. We stepping out by stepping in. We talking about the knowledge versus the embodiment of knowledge. Oh, most definitely, bro. Most definitely, bro. Sometimes I don't be seeing it, don't be knowing who people is, but sometimes I catch on to see who people is, and I end up following y'all back. And I don't know some uppity shit, but shit, sometimes you just don't know. Some motherfuckers don't be real profile. So tonight we dealing with knowledge versus embodiment of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? What is it to know all of this shit if you don't become all of this shit? What's the purpose? What's the point? What are we doing? Travis Harris, peace, peace, peace. Everybody, you just joined and drop a SOP in the chat. We ain't had that call to action in a minute. Cool TGS, my dog. Glad you're here. Drop a SOP in the chat if you're glad that we back. And today I will be announcing the new book read that we will be doing. I will be announcing a new book read that we will be tapping into. Let me turn this fan up. Get them SOPs in the chat. Get the SOPs in the chat. Tonight we talking about knowledge versus the embodiment of knowledge. My Farah, what's happening? What's happening? Everybody showing up on a Wednesday. What's happening, gang? Sovereign Cyborg. Okay. I make that lot says this channel put shit in perspective and took away all the spiritual woo-woo away for real. But that's mad love for real. That's mad love right there, bro. And the thing is, that's mad acknowledgement or realization on your behalf. Because a lot of people hear me and can say that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about shit. He talking about this. He on some third dimensional. He on some whatever, and it does that for you. That's what this shit is about. It's about for you. What does this shit do for you? The shit that I talk about can do absolutely nothing for somebody, bro. And it's really that simple. Today, we're gonna get into something. You got the SOP. Where my weepo at? Race is made up. there is only the one without a second. Say that. That's what time we on. That's what time we on. Monthright SOP. Certain pick SOP. He said she had me thinking I was a dragon and Anunnaki and the Anunnaki controlling the winds and shit. Technically you are, but you know what I'm saying. If you want to place your imagination in the dragon, goddamn it, I know exactly where you coming from with it, bro. I was there as well. I'm bringing my nigga T right here. I'm bringing T on. Bringing T on today. We're gonna speak about a very near and dear friend of ours that has said fuck the body and he has left. He, as that person, has left the physical plane. And it's a celebration, not a time to be sad, even though maybe we may feel those emotions when friends leave this plane of existence. Zero peace, the Mexico hero. What's happening? What's happening? Even though that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Much love, family. SOP and SOP. So this was inspired by my brother from another, my brother in darkness as well. My nigga Juan. Right here is my nigga Magic motherfucking Juan. I done sent T the link. I'm gonna bring T up here in a minute. But I met T. Where was T at? I'm gonna show y'all T. This T right here. It's my nigga T. I met T by way of this guy right here, Juan. Matter of fact, I know Juan brought a lot of people together, bro. I know Juan brought a lot of people together. And when I stayed in Nashville, Tennessee, going through my spiritual journey, you know how we like to say. And and during the time of my past relationship, I had like this very powerful breakthrough 2020, 2021. I didn't gave here on this YouTube channel so much. Like one of the, a lot of the breakthroughs are very subtle, as they should be. Those be the most profound aha moments. They be profound as fuck. Then some just come hit heavy. Like it takes over the body. It took over my whole fucking nervous system. that breakthrough I had. And at this time I had made friends with Juan because Brother Panic had did a live stream. I'm not saying live stream, a live lecture in Nashville based on prosperity. And I ended up showing up late, but nothing was ever too late. It was meant for me to meet this nigga here. Now, why am I bringing Juan up? I call him Magic Juan. His name is Juan. I call him Magic Juan. Bishop Magic motherfucking Don Juan. Every time I pick up the phone, that's what I call him. Matter of fact, when I moved from Nashville down here to Texas, him and T was the only two motherfuckers that came and helped me move. I ain't had nobody else to help me. Some couldn't do it, but these were the only two niggas that did do it. Real friends. And you know, it's very rare, so-called being spiritual, right? Marcus Osiris, peace, 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 God, peace, peace, peace. You know, it's real rare being spiritual and meeting somebody in your own city on the same shit. Now, Nashville, Tennessee may not be my hometown, but I've been there for like 7 fucking plus years. And I finally meet one towards the end of those years at a Brother Panic. And then he links me up with Terrence, and matter of fact, we all meet up at one house. Let me put this shit on do not disturb. I'm giving this long-winded story for a reason. I'm going to bring T on, and then we're going to really get into the so-called lecture of what we're talking about tonight. Because this means a lot. This may be a personal friend, but he represented the true embodiment of a magical nigga. He represents the true embodiment of knowledge itself. This nigga lived a life that blew like the goddamn wind. If T was on here, goddamn it, boy, he'll tell you. Boy, he'll tell you. This nigga lived like the magic, the fucking wind, bro. When none of this shit let that man down. When none of this shit stopped this nigga, he had nothing that could box him in. There was really no worries, no obstacles. Even if I was that friend that was there, like, man, you know, that shit ain't even real, bro. Watch this shit. This shit too shall pass. But the way he lived his life was so rigid and restricted and trying to plan, plot, and strategize. Oh, today is Venus. I need to do this and do this. And I'm talking about spiritually as well. Oh, today is this and today is this. He knew that I am this. He come from up under. But this is the guy who put me on Travis Mages. Never heard of Travis until Magic motherfucking Juan put me on him. This is what I'm saying. This nigga was that pass-through point. This nigga was that pass-through point. Let me add T up here. Hold up. Oh, you got yourself on mute, T. Okay, cool. So this nigga Juan was that pass-through point. When I took my first shroom trip, my boy hooked me up with the shrooms. Got me in with the shrooms, then I had that break. Man, listen, bro. Dude lived a lifestyle of complete free, I know I am that type shit. With nothing bounding this nigga. With nothing bounding this nigga, bro. He really lived, and he was an animated nigga on top of that. I got a salute to this my body and mind that appeared separate from me as Magic motherfucking Juan. A true inspiration and a true remembrance as a symbol of what the fuck I am. He knew. We come from the same school of Brother Panic. Titans. We Titans. You see what I'm saying? He moved like that, though. He didn't move as a normal, regular human being. Like, funny as hell, silly as hell, free as hell. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, anytime this nigga even tried to do the normal human shit, he got that pushback and just like, oh, fuck it. And that's his attitude. He'll be like, oh, fuck it. He'll talk like that too, like, oh, fuck it. And just go with the motherfucking flow. Where you'll see this nigga walking downtown Nashville with the top hat on up there, Like in that picture up there. Like, hold up. That's my boy right there. Yeah, with a sword. Or you might catch a nigga with a goddamn umbrella. You never know. Let me bring T on. Unmute your mic, T.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you should come through clear. Chat, let me know if y'all can hear him. Y'all can hear him. Hold up. We're gonna go. Yeah. Yeah, man. This nigga Magic Juan, bro. Really, you know what I'm saying? Fucking with the fairies, the Goetia, all of that. Like I said, he put me on Travis Majors, bro. Like that first time I told y'all when I heard about Trav, and I was like, I don't know. He put me on him. The nigga told me, he know his shit. He know his shit. He was talking about Trav. He know his shit. He know his shit. I was like, it's like shit. When a guy say it is what it is, I say less. It is what it is. Even though it took me some years to still get, you know what I'm saying, linked with Trav, and it ended up happened randomly. You know what I'm saying? How I end up fucking with Trav by way of another spiritual breakthrough that I've given y'all a million times here. I can make all this shit circle back to this nigga here. You see what I'm saying? I can make it all circle back to this nigga here. It was very so we all know it's real rare to find a friend or an associate, bare minimum, in that same town you live in on some real deal occult spiritual shit. Not just talking. This is why T come on here. He's the real deal. He's the real deal embodiment of it. He's the real deal embodiment of it. And T, you wanna go ahead and speak, bro? Like you got some let's because this right here is really a memorial. You know what I'm saying? This is a ritual right here to bring light, to shine light on my dog, on my guy, on the
Yeah,
magic done motherfucking one. Go ahead, T.
man. Magic Don Juan, shout out to him. A true homie for real. And I would say magic was the definition of magic, you know. I met him as ancient wisdom, and I didn't know like how deep of a statement that was. You know, everybody tells you their name, you know, when they're first introducing themselves to you, but to be introduced as ancient wisdom was pretty off-putting at first. I was like, you know, I'm gonna fuck with this nigga. You know, I ain't never met an ancient wisdom before.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then as I got to know him further, you know, and as he more, you know, shedded more of his humanity and saw, you know, I peeped game and I started really learning from him because when he really started going by magic, that's when he realized he is the magic.
He is the
And
fucking magic.
that was a powerful transformative statement right there alone. That told me like, yeah, maybe when he speaks, I need to actually be quiet and listen more
And lit,
because you know what I'm saying? He'll go off on some shit and then just connect some shit together and be
bro.
like, how you know that, bro?
Hey, real shit, bro. I'm forgetting that type shit, bro. It would seem like the shit he say would seem like pure random shit.
Yeah.
But when that nigga bring that, bro, man, go ahead, T. Real shit, bro. That's type of nigga he was, bro. My nigga. My
I,
nigga, bro.
I think back to the time when we were, you know, it's funny because I think we were under a tree because it was raining. And and he had his umbrella out. And I don't remember exactly what Don Juan said, but it was so profound that like not even the thunder in the background took took my mindset off of what he stated at that time.
Mm.
And you know, it made me realize like all this shit that we go by, these names, these titles, you know, in the thick of it, like who are you really as a individual and like quote unquote practitioner, you know, of whatever field of study. Because, you know, he was knowledgeable on a lot of different subjects. He had a lot of
Fact.
different books, you know, and he wasn't afraid to go into these darker aspects of the mind. You know, he was real big into, Goetia,
To go
you know what I'm saying? Real big into even getting into like clip off and things of that nature too. So like for him to have such a fearlessness and go just straight into the current, it really reflects, how he even transitioned. You know what I'm saying?
Which we got to get into because we got to break down. Come on now. Go on and get into it, bro.
Dark side, nigga. Dark
Dark
side.
side,
You
nigga.
know
This is also why I have this image of him. I created that last night with that Osiris right there. Let me bridge it in with this, right? Let me bridge it in with this because, all right. So once you meet Juan, dude is like Osiris is sitting on the goddamn throne at the weighing of the fucking heart. Swear to God. And he's not faking. This is him for real. When you meet him, when he first invited me over to the crib, we started smoking and shit and kicking it. He said, "Hold up, before you smoke that blunt, how many letters in your name?" He'll whip out this little book. He got it written down. If you got a certain amount of numbers in your name, he connected with an Egyptian deity. Now me, with my numbers being, my first name was 6, my middle name was 6, my last name is 6. So I'm 666. He's like, "Oh shit, nigga, melanin." "Oh shit, nigga, dark side." Like, let me look at it. I'm like, "I already looked it up, bro. I'm Kefra." He pulled it out. He said, "No, nigga, I gotta make sure. Nigga, I gotta make sure. Nigga, make sure you pass the test." And he checked it. My shit was Kefra. And I'm like, "Hold up, nigga, what's your shit? Nigga, fuck you talking about? Nigga, what's your shit?" He was fucking Osiris. Now we gonna connect the dots. It's a reason why we saying that. So how was it that magic motherfucking Don Juan shedded this physical body to you?
Nigga, it seemed like it's like an Egyptian funeral rite. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. An actual ritual itself. Because when you connect like the dates and when he was discovered, it's almost as if he's acting out the Osirian drama itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, in one sense, how do you live this so much to the point where you actually act out the story and the mythology itself? From being accidentally drowning to being discovered, 4 days later, on a particular day, which matches up to that story in particular, like specifically, the connection with the 14 days being connected to Osiris and Seth.
Mm-hmm.
But like, my ego want to take over and say, "Well, how?"
See,
nigga, that's just what it is.
That's it right there. Now that is just what the fuck it is, and that's why I even get into the question of we talking about free will. Right. Even getting into the question of talking about free will, because at this point, this is just what the fuck it is. You see what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he didn't say, "Okay, I'm gonna go in here and die, so I can die like Osiris." So, you know what I'm saying? I get pulled up out the river like Osiris. You see what I'm saying? But his whole energy, if you knew him, was some Osirian energy. And now, and not just since he was spiritual, I had a conversation with him about him as a kid. Because we didn't know him as a kid. T come from a different state. I came from a different city in Tennessee. Juan was born in Nashville, Tennessee. So even meeting some of the people that he knew from back then and talking about one, I'm like, "Oh shit, this shit," you know what I'm saying? This shit has been in him. The thing here is if all of that shit is out, like, that's why I say the mind and the body has karma. The mind and the body, we know the body don't reincarnate. We know the mind, if anything, based off of what we've been told, which I still say is hearsay, but nonetheless, based off what we've been told or what we've learned in spirituality, what reincarnate is this mind, these specific patterns. And what we do know from direct experience, from experience in the world, everything is nothing but patterns. That's why I say you are the fucking mythology. You the mythology. You as in the little self, this person you say you are to be. You are the mythology. And there's a certain amount of mythology set up around. It's 8 billion people, but it ain't that many fucking stories to tell. I promise you that. It's not that many goddamn stories to tell, bro. It ain't nothing but the same stories being rehashed, you know, a little bit changed here and there, maybe the size of a person, the, you know what I'm saying, the upbringing of a person, the city of whatever. The same program is being played out. You are the mythology. And I respect this nigga mythology as an Osirian energy. He is that motherfucker. We looked it up. Like, now we had a connection here. Skip my shit, but once we looked it up, so he went swimming in the river on May 10th. Am I correct? 10 days ago from today. He went swimming in a river May 10th, the Cumberland River. Now, T will tell you he can connect it because he's better at that information about the connection between Kemet and America and Kemet actually being in America, which I don't disagree with. So that Cumberland River, that Tennessee River, having a connection to the Mississippi River as it connects with the Nile River, right? So, you know, here we go, putting this shit together, boom, boom, boom. He died on the 10th. Now, I gotta bring this back. My nigga used to always keep this book called the Perpetual Days of the Goddess. So 366 Perpetual Days of the Goddess. Anybody in the chat that know about that book about the days of the goddess? So it's basically a calendar of every day of the week, of the month, of the year, my bad. Every day of the year, it has a goddess energy connected to it. Now, it got to the point, shit, I ain't get the book at that time. I wasn't even buying books at that time. 2021, I believe. I wasn't even buying books at that time. When I had that breakthrough, I run down and ask him, hey, bro, like, I called him, like, bro, what's the goddess of the day? You know what I'm saying? I had that breakthrough on October 8th, 2021. And it lines up with him going to that river on the 10th, which obviously means he would have passed on the 10th. They didn't find his body until the 14th. Now, when we look up the Goddess Book of Days, this is very much so in alignment with him as who he was, because he kept that book on him. What's the goddess of the day? Osiris on the 14th. They found his body on the 14th, just like the whole Osirian mythology of his body being cut into 14 pieces and being fished about and thrown into the river and had to be pulled about the river on the 14th. Come on, bro. This nigga whole life was that. This nigga whole life was that. And when I say he lived a magical life, I mean he lives by the way that none of this shit can stop me. No way. I'm not hopping in no goddamn river. That's me. Juan lived like that, like, yeah, nigga, fuck all this shit. All this shit ain't nothing but me anyway. That was his energy, bro. That nigga lived like that. And this is what I mean by the knowledge versus the embodiment. I'm gonna bring up a video that I just seen that just popped up on my timeline that actually speaks to what we're talking about today. And it's talking about knowing so much shit. You know too much shit. Y'all know how I feel about that on this channel. Getting all this information. You just gathering data and information, but you ain't living it. It actually is making you closed off. And you thinking you're becoming more knowledgeable and becoming higher vibrational, but what you're doing is adding more shit to you that's weighing you the fuck down. You thinking you freeing yourself. True freedom is a release, not gripping and holding of more. Magic motherfucking Juan lived like that. He lived like that. And I'm not saying just drop everything and fucking and go be free. That'll be your ego. If it's not already a part that's already walking and talking with you as you are already, this human body talking soul, if it's not that already and you try to do it, that may be something totally different. Maybe it's still in the cards for you. I don't know. That's for you to know. Not for me to say it is or not. But what I'm telling you is, he was that. It wasn't no, oh, should I or should I? No, go. Mind second. Intellectuality second. Spirit first. Spontaneous living. This nigga lived that.
And if I may too,
Damn sure, man.
last time when I joined your live, I remember we were talking about the Fool's card,
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
you had the Fool card up, and in the back of the Fool's card, Travis pulled up the fact that there's waves in the background that represent the Ein, the nothingness. And
Oh,
it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting how the Fool's connected to that Ein. And he made that connection even with Don Juan. He went swimming in Hein, and as a result, because of his not foolishness or fool character, but because he was operating in that capacity as the fool, he ended up going back to Hein. And it wasn't, and what I'm getting is it's not like a tragedy, as in, oh my God, he's a victim and he did this. No, he lived this and it was the call back. And the reason why I know that's true as well, because it's the same river that we gave out libations to Brother Panic during his transition. So with Juan being a student of Panic, what I'm and how much um, Don Juan was following Panic, we got to understand too, some of our connections go and transcend this timeline. So like some of us literally were, hanging out just like as in this photo, we were doing this in the past and other past lives too, and so if you think about it, Panic probably got some fucking disco ball going on right now in his old dimension. How many niggas is trying to pull up? You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is probably fire over there, dog. And I wouldn't be surprised if Don Juan felt that pull. You know what I'm saying? There are other gods going and passing through and then creating other worlds, dimensions, probably even universes and whatnot. So, to me, what I was gathering is, he's just here and now he's about to go and chill and do his own thing. And that nothingness called him back. It's him calling himself back.
Him calling himself
But
fucking back.
but if you think, but also the Fool is just before the Magician card. So if he was operating in that magician mindset of intellect, not even intellect, but like logic,
I know what you mean.
the logos, like, oh, I want to go in the river, but I shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that, because he was operating that transcends even that magic, that magician card mind, and operating in that full, full capacity.
That full capacity. Dig
Yeah, you
that.
know what I'm saying? It that's what God's do.
That's what God
God's
do.
ready. Hey man,
And
God's ready to do. They did.
and I'm telling you, like, I got a video that's unlisted on my YouTube, y'all. That this is the night, day after we found out Brother Panic had passed. We did a ritual on that same river. We did a ritual at the river. The river, or at least this river is connected to the river where he drowned at. Let me at least say that if I want to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? So downtown Nashville, there's a river that goes through downtown Nashville, Tennessee. And we did a ritual for Brother Panic, just not even just like, oh, help us out, nigga, but on some more, we appreciate the fuck out you, my nigga. You brought these niggas out the darkness. That's me. That's Juan. That's Crystal. And that's T. That's his queen. That's his goddess. That's T goddess back there.
She just
Yes,
stepped
sir.
out too.
He did. Crystal, my dog. What's happening? What's going on, Crystal? So, us four linked up and showed our respects to a motherfucker who came here and pointed us back to ourselves. Panic pointed us back to ourselves, and we linked up at that same river out of randomness. You know what I'm saying? Not too much logic put into it. You know, you logically gotta buy a bottle of liquor, duh, but not too much logic and overthinking to try to make the perfect ritual. It was all randomness. And we went out and did our thing. Everybody in this picture, I know for a fact, is an embodiment of it. Is the embodiment of this knowledge and the embodiment of this magical lifestyle that we can say. Because if you ask me, the greatest magic trick, we looking to do magic, and the greatest magic trick is that aim, that nothingness appearing as fucking everything, bro. If you just sit back and contemplate and put your attention there, something that is so indescribable because it's not a thing itself, becoming everything that seems to be a fucking thing. That's the greatest fucking magic trick. And all of it is you, nigga. That's the greatest fucking magic trick. So when we get into knowledge versus the embodiment of the knowledge, the real knowledge is that you recognize that you are knowledge itself. Not in some superficial way, not in some old cool metaphysical way. I'm talking about dead the fuck serious. The knowing itself is you. That's what awareness is. That's what consciousness is. That's what Gnosis is. The knowing itself. The source of knowing. Well, here we go always, y'all. How do we know things? Through our five senses, right? Taste, touch, smell, see, feel, lick, stick, fuck, whatever. All of those senses. What's the source of that knowing? The source of that knowing is consciousness. So if the source of how we retrieve knowledge, it has to be knowledge itself. That itself is knowledge, just pure knowledge, not knowledge of anything in particular. This is why we say pure consciousness, not knowledge of anything in particular. See, that's the other side versus the embodiment. The other side is the mind knowing things. Now, the mind knows 32 goddamn dimensions. The mind knows E equals MC squared. The mind knows, oh, there are demons and there are aliens and there's this and this and this that. But what is that gives the mind the ability to know? That's you. That's the embodiment that I have come to understand now that we all are. That's not even a we. We can say we for conversational and communicational purposes, but that's what the fuck you are. So if you really embrace and consecrate yourself into that and knowing that, what the fuck is the problem? What the fuck is the problem? It really is no problem. So check this out, Cern Pick. I gotta say this. While Cern Pick said that will be the next book read. I'm announcing it now. The next book read will be the Ashtaka Gita, aka we're gonna read this version though. We're gonna read this version of Ashtaka Gita. Hold up. Allow. Hold up. Boom. Is that showing on the screen? What's showing up on the screen? Let's see. Let's move this. Boom. The Ashtaka Gita, the Heart of Awareness. This is the one by Thomas. What's his name? They don't even say it on there. But when you see that, the Heart of Awareness, a translation of a Ashtaka Gita, that will be our next book read. Just letting everybody know that now. So you got time to get it. It's like $16 on Amazon. You see it's $12 right there. Or you can get the PDF. We moving on up. We coming back with it. So I'm just putting that out there so y'all can know that's the next book read. That's what we tapping into. So when you realize the true embodiment of the knowledge is what you already are, when you realize the true embodiment of the knowledge can't be taken away from you. You itself are knowledge. There can be no knowing without you as the self. There is no knowing about God's heaven and earth. There is no knowing about the Goetia. There's no knowing about fucking the elephant guy back here, fucking Ganesh. I can't even get it out. There is no goddamn knowing about Baphomet without you. There is no existence of a world, a God, a demon, the word self, the word consciousness without you, the self. Remember, there's really no word to describe what it is. That's why we get to saying all language is ultimately false. It's that intuitive knowing. I was just listening to Brother Panic today. It's been a minute since I listened to him. It's the knowing that it's always been about. And even Panic can tell you there's no class that you can take that'll take you beyond you recognizing you yourself. You're like, he got courses, you know what I'm saying? But you niggas got to get into the mindset of it, of recognizing that you already are it. That was the big problem that he was dealing with. It was hard for people to recognize little old me is this vast universe, is this vast cosmos, is everything in existence. We have become attached to this identity as this person, as this mind, as these thoughts that flutter through the fucking mind, bro. With that being said, I wanted to bring this up. It was, I don't know, maybe y'all have heard of him. I think I've seen this guy on my Instagram before, but he ended up, let's see, speaking about him getting kicked out of spirituality. I'm gonna play it through the mic and y'all just listen. And I'm gonna speak about this because this goes back to it. His name is Rell Chosen, Rell Chosen. You heard of him before, T?
I haven't.
Young dude, hold up. You never seen him before?
I don't think so. No.
I feel like I didn't seen him on my timeline before. But check this out. Check out what he say, because this is very. Just check out what he say, bro.
A lot of spirituality. A lot of y'all don't know, and a lot of y'all.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do know that I took a big ass break from content. I stopped posting for like 8 months. That time period came from me maximizing my human and spiritual elevation. I was ultra disciplined. I made so many sacrifices. I changed my entire life around. I became unrecognizable. I operated on a conscious level that was so spiritual that I looked at every single thing as a sign. My thoughts were so out of this world.
You hear him looking at everything as a goddamn sign. Y'all know how I talk about that type of shit, that type of living, and what the fuck it actually does to your ass. Hold up.
So ungrounded, I didn't even feel human anymore. My decisions and my discipline matched that frequency. So everything I was doing was unhuman. I deleted all my social medias because I didn't see the point anymore. I thought my purpose existed beyond social media, and social media was attached to my old self. So I convinced myself I had to sacrifice Rell Chosen. Imagine having 1 million followers and having a whole foundation for 5 years based on social media, and your spiritual psychosis makes you delete it. It was shit like that every single day in every aspect of my life. After I got to a certain point.
Hold up. Because what he said is he had attached his identity to this Rell Chosen. Like, oh, I can text mine to this my Gnosis, and oh, it's so much low vibrational shit going out here, and I'm so you're not saying you're scared. You just calling it low vibrational, and I need to stay away from it. So now you're ducking and dodging so-called low vibrational shit. So now you actually living in fear. While you're calling yourself high vibrational, you're actually ducking and dodging and running in fear of so-called low vibrational shit. If you really see, here's the difference between knowledge versus embodiment. There's not a judgment on him because we've been there. I've been there. So let me say that. This ain't no judgment on him. This is an observation of what it is and what I always talk about here. Because now, if you're supposed to be so high vibrational, why are you ducking and dodging low vibrational shit? If you high vibrational, there's no need to duck and dodge anything. That shit'll be ducking and dodging you. And even if it did run into you, that shit wouldn't even damage you. You'll be Sir Impeccable around this motherfucker. Shout out to my nigga Sir Impeccable. You'll be impeccable around this motherfucker. Ain't nothing doing nothing to you. And what do we push over here? There's no obstacles that's going to apprehend you. There are only opportunities for you to observe, for you to realize who the fuck you really are. But all of that, knowing about all these dimensions, these guys trying to decode every goddamn symbol and make everything, listen, here it is, y'all. Everything is a fucking symbol. The concept of life is a fucking symbol. The blade of grass, the pile of dog shit is a symbol. My face is a motherfucking symbol. T is a symbol to me. Juan is a symbol to me. Trav is a symbol to me. Sir and Peck. Goddamn, I make that a lot. Cosmic Puzzle Piece, Zero. Travis Mages. Bobby Emmett. This fucking vape. Everything's a fucking symbol. But if you get to looking at it from a certain aspect of let me decode this because it's a higher meaning, it's gonna get me to this level and I have this knowledge and I get this and this and this and that. Oh, there go your spiritual psychosis. Hold up. He finna say it because it was literally unbearable is what he was just saying. Hold up.
To continue that journey, I have to ground myself. It's taking over a year to officially ground back in my body, my human third dimensional real self. I was so far. Everything that y'all know about me, I enhanced it to even go further than that. And I seen certain doors and seeing how deep this shit can go, and it traumatized my nervous system. It made me want to be so damn surface level, so damn just, man, fuck that shit. I was pushed into the third dimension. That's why all I care about is just, chilling, vibing, watching streamers, going out to have fun, all kind of stuff. I was forced to find the divinity and the spirituality in the third dimension. It's like all spiritual people demonize the ego. They demonize.
Boom, right there. So then you got all spiritual people downplaying the third dimension because they on the fourth dimension. They going to the fifth dimension. Oh, I ain't dealing with no third dimensional niggas. Oh, I ain't dealing with no third dimensional bitches. That's because you think there's some separateness here. You see what I'm saying? This is why, everybody may not agree with the non-dual concepts, and I get it. And I respect whatever path or whatever thing that you've chosen to be for you. That's it. Granted, continue. Kick rocks, keep going, or stay and listen. But you have to understand once you make things separate, you create an enemy. Guess what? Nobody created that enemy for you. You have done it. The mind has naturally done it by separation. But that's also how the illusion is created. If this thing that exists, which we go back to aim, or we can call it the self, or we can call it consciousness, or we can call it nothingness. If we go back to that, if it itself is the only thing that is, the only way for it to experience anything is to create an illusion of separateness. It's only it that exists. So what the fuck else could it interact with and have experiences with? The only way to do that is create an illusion. And that illusion starts with separation. And that's where the ego comes in. That's the ego. That's your y'all broth. It starts to take credit for me, mines, and I. Me, myself, and I. Anything that goes around those personal pronouns. Or those pronouns, I think those are called pronouns. Me, myself, and I. I don't know, fuck, y'all correct me on that shit. But that's where that comes in at. That's the creator of the illusion. Now you can find a way of being mad at it, or you can find a way to catch out, to spot out, to observe, to inquire into the game that is playing. And when you figure it out, it's like, oh shit. Well, from my perspective, it's like, oh shit, this shit actually funny as hell. There's nothing to do to stop the ego. The ego ultimately don't fucking exist. It's smoke and mirrors. Ultimately, it doesn't exist. Oh, let me let the young God finish.
The third dimension. I was one of those people too. That's why I had to be forced here to use all that spiritual fuel and spiritual perspectives for the world that we all avoid, the world that we all demonize. Now I'm seeing the love and seeing the God and what was hell. And now I'm seeing how everything is spiritual. Spirituality isn't just topics or a certain frequency. It's everything. The strip club is spiritual. Money is spiritual. Anger and hate and all that stuff, that's not bad. It's human. Everything that I rejected and I thought was negative before, I love it now. I accept it now. I embrace it now. That's what makes you human. It's what makes you whole. We all want to be super disciplined, eat healthy, be super positive, but we neglect the natural urge that our body has. We neglect all the negative emotions, the negative habits. We just suppress that shit and act like it's not real. But when I was forced to become one with it, bro, I feel indestructible. I feel like this was the missing piece to my true spiritual evolution. But yeah, y'all, now I really want to focus on more down-to-earth topics, more shit that's in front of our face and not all in the astrals. A lot of us be spiritual as hell, wise as hell, but still have social anxiety and can't even talk to people or talk to girls. That's a part of you, too. You need to know how to have that master, too. Avoiding learning about money and making money thinking that we don't need it and end up broke as hell. Still finna get deep, but I just want to let y'all know I want to prioritize a more grounded frequency.
So he really cooking. You see what I'm saying? So he's one of them ones. That's why, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the ones who's realized. I'm not saying he's coming from a pure non-dualistic perspective, but he's basically what he's saying. He's realizing it's all whole. There's nothing to ditch out. There's nothing to eradicate. None of that is to eradicate. That's what I've come to the conclusion of. There's nothing for me to eradicate out of me. Whatever pattern that needs to fall away is going to fall away by way of simply realizing what the fuck it is, observing it. Well, because remember, once we go through this non-dual teachings, what do we say? First, you got to realize, to know what you are, you have to know what you are not. To know what you are, you have to know what you are not. So you have to go through the part of negating. Not this, not this, not this. Nati. Not this, not this, not this. Which I've connected back with set. The whole set in the left-hand path. It's the rejection of all of this. And then you finally get up to this motherfucker. You figure out like, oh, I'm not any of these things separately. I'm all of this shit, nigga. I'm all of this shit. I'm the prostitute at the store. I'm the junkie at the store. I'm the crack rock itself. I'm the dog shit itself. I'm Baphomet. I'm Jesus. I'm Satan. I'm all of this shit. I'm Ganesh. I'm each and every God. Literally, once we get to understanding what we are, you're literally all of it. What is there to reject? On a human, logical, intellectual level, yes, nigga, don't walk. If it's a shootout happening, don't go stand in front of the AK-47 like, woohoo! I'm the AK-47 bullets. That's misunderstanding it. That's the ego trying to play this little game. So this body that we say we are not, because we're not. This mind that we say we're not, because we're not. But at the end of the day, all of this shit is that. All of this shit is that. There could be no body, there could be no mind without awareness itself. And when you walk and live and stand on that, that's why we say SOP. Stand on the principle of knowing that you are the observer of all of this shit. None of this shit is ultimately damaging you. Yes, this person in this story may be damaged or may feel like it. Yes, this person in this story may have a certain hue and a glow on his skin. Yes, this certain person in the store may have a history. And obviously, y'all know we can get deep into that. You know what I'm saying? But just by simply, which is what the Ramana Maharishi, his technique or method, I can't even call it technique or method. It was just pure seeing. That who am I? Asking who am I? Inquiring into who is this I? Man, I'm mad as hell. Man, I'm sad. Man, I don't never get shit that I want. Man, I always get cheated on. Man, that bitch always do this to me. Why people always do? Who is this I that all of this shit is happening to? Because when you try to find it, you can't find it, my niggas. There's no finding that I. That motherfucker's a ghost. It's a phantom.
Right. You know, it's interesting. Yeah, man, it's interesting because in that video, it was mentioning, it took him a second to take a step back, for him to see, just like on the left-hand path, the right-hand path has negative side effects. I remember hearing a statement that if you stare in the sun too long, you'll also get blind, you know. And one thing with the right hand path is when it comes to light, it is so bright that sometimes it can blind one.
Facts.
And what, you know, the ego itself, when it sees lights, it sees shiny objects, you know, essentially wanting to grab on to any and everything, you know. So I think
That's what it
he
want to do.
also, I think that gentleman, you know, takes a step back. To when you take a step back, you know, what is that? It's like a reflective mode. You know, it's in a sense also going back into the void or into I, and
Facts.
self-reflecting, only to be reborn again. And you know, just also, you know, it's another thing with, you know, with Don Juan. You know, this is a rebirth. It isn't necessarily just a death. It's a rebirth into a new cycle.
Facts.
And just like as the gentleman said in the video as well too, he came back into the scene, rebirth with a whole new perspective, and that's what creation allows as well, is recreation, yeah,
Recreation.
rebirth. So it's real cool that he came to that perspective. He was able to see his own ego in action, and then take a step back, and essentially kind of kill the ego as well too. You
Facts.
know, it's not all about just discarding the ego, but there's different ways to the what they say, different ways to skin a cat. You know,
Facts.
there's different ways to put the ego in a reflective mode. You know, because even in the Gnostic text, you know, Yaldabaoth, even though he only saw himself as the main creator, he still heard Sophia speaking from beyond the abyss, and he still had to be like, "Hello."
Like who? What? Who was that?
Is anyone there? You know what I'm
Come on, bro.
saying? So what's that voice? You know?
So like, and then thinking about that, like, damn, it was something you said. Like, no, something you said about the light. I remember hearing Dr. Baba Valentine was saying, if you stood in an all white bright room, you will be just as blinded as you would be in an all pitch black room. So the darkness and light is the same shit. We talking about on some real shit. The darkness and the light is the same shit. Different hues, same shit. They do the same shit. The light will blind you just as well as the darkness will. So you can go so far into the light and end up in darkness with your eyes wide the fuck open. You can go into the darkness, same shit. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, once we looking at this thing, when we try to make these opposites, when you try to make opposites, you create an enemy. So of course the dark side niggas is gonna be like, fuck the light side. And of course the light side niggas is gonna be like, we're not even saying fuck the dark side. We're just staying away from the low vibrational dark side.
Right, exactly. Right.
And you think they saying something different? It's the same shit. Only thing they've done was change their language. You're low vibrational for all that cussing that you're doing.
Right.
It's
They
like,
don't get it.
you don't really get it. You are learning the knowledge, but you're not embodying it. This is what I'm saying. My teachers, our teachers, hold up, Magic Don Juan's teachers, they embodied it. That's why I always say to y'all, okay, it's cool to hear what the fuck is being said. I heard what Bobby Hemmings said. I heard what Brother Pemick said. I heard what Baba Valentine said. I heard what Eileen Bay said. I heard what Dr. Ben. I heard what these teachers said. But it's more too than just listening to the words that they're saying. See, if you're just focusing on the words they're saying, you get knowledge. But if you actually are observing and paying attention, these people are the embodiment of that shit. Bobby taught you to be the embodiment of it. Panic taught you to be the embodiment of it, not just latch on to the words. So when I listened to him, I didn't know I was doing this, but as I sit back and go back to it, I was watching like, okay, so what type of frame of so-called mind could they be in to be able to speak from this point of view? What is it? Yeah, I hear what they're saying, but what the fuck is it? Because you will even gain some knowledge from the shit that they're not saying. You will even gain it. You will gain an understanding. Let me say that. You will even gain an understanding by understanding the shit that they're not saying. Okay, he's saying this instead of that. And then that instead of this. So it's like, okay. Oh, I get it. That's why the no way came. I mean, I was no way before I became conscious, but the point of me connecting the dots and making the acronym "No Obstacles Will Apprehend You" heavily influenced by Bobby, because whatever he wanted to make right was right. He didn't choose sides. He didn't choose sides. Obviously, his normal human ego that was there would say, you know, fuck them crackers, them crackers, the cracking the crackers. But if you ultimately get an overview of what the fuck he's saying, it's like that video that I always put up. Huh?
No, I was just saying, right.
Oh, see, it's like that video that I always put up of him. Like that post that I just posted. Like, he said, you not gonna be able to track this shit based on some methodology. So your rituals and your practice and this and this and that, if you're trying to get knowledge of the self, none of that shit is, it's not a book that says here's how to get rich and everybody can read it and do step by step in the book and get rich. That don't work like that. This shit is spontaneous. I hate to use this word because it seems like it put on levels, but my most profound realizations was fucking random. Random as fuck. Spontaneous as fuck. No logical reasoning behind it. No ritual that I done step by step. And here it go. I'm waiting to expect this breakthrough. It was never that. It was spontaneous as fuck. Remember, the biggest one I told y'all came from watching fucking cartoons. It came from watching fucking cartoons. A fucking Marvel cartoon, bro. Basically on that same shit that he just explained about y'all brought hearing Sophia talking. The same shit from Marvel What If. Season 2, episode 8 or something like that. I always bring that shit up. Y'all done heard that. And too many times we got to keep talking about it in detail, but it came random. This shit is spontaneous. You think you're going to get it by doing some fucking methodology. It's not that way, because who's that pushing forth this methodology? Let's check that. Who's that's saying let's do this method to achieve something? It has to be the ego, because it's the one that wants to grab hold of something and take claim of, now I've moved up a level in spirituality, my nigga. That's what a nigga trying to tell you. That's the one that's trying to do it. It's not the real you that's doing it. You don't have to be mad at the ego. You just need to realize what the motherfucker is doing. And once you see the trickster, once you see the tricks that the trickster is playing, it no longer has an effect on you.
You know, one example I can think of as well too is the idea of spells. You know what I'm saying? And I remember reading not too long ago in one of the I think it was either Egyptian priors or it was a breakdown of it, but they were saying that, you know, originally what we know as spells came from the Egyptian pyramid texts, you know, and the pyramid texts themselves were used for a completely different purpose. They weren't used for, you know, to look better or to attract a better mate or to, you know, to gain wealth. You know, those spells were specifically for funerary rites and almost used as passcodes when in the afterworld, in order to get past, as one would say, the demiurge and his archon allies who want to, you know, quote unquote, keep us trapped here, you know, in the matrix. But you know, but nowadays, spells are almost popularized as like as pop culture.
Yeah.
Pop culture, pop culturalized, I guess. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
a word?
that
Yeah.
misunderstood. I get it. Pop culturalized. Yeah, hell yeah.
But just going back to what that gentleman in the video was saying, what I'm saying, being spiritually blinded almost, even in the community with the, quote unquote Hotep community. What I'm saying Hotep as a greeting and whatnot, and that's all valid in itself, Hotep, what I'm saying. But I remember also reading in the book not too long ago that Hotep also means peace. So there's layers to that as well too. And just like with spells back then, even though they had a esoteric function, they also had an esoteric function socially. So sometimes that stuff is needed as well.
Sometimes that shit is needed as well, bro. And because when we get into it, like the way that I see it now on my screen, what is it? Coming from my occult background, coming from the teachers before me, pointing me in a direction, it's like, okay, so now I get it. It's like it's always been a fact that it's always been a fact that, like, because what is a ritual for? What is a spell for? A ritual is for a repetitious action or a performative action to be done, to be implanted on the subconscious mind. That's what it's for. Because we have figured out by way of implanting shit on the subconscious mind, if it's in groove good enough, it'll come forth to the conscious mind. And if we know that the mind is creating all this we see before us, not figuratively, not metaphorically speaking. I know everybody here knows, but just in case a newcomer comes and hears this, not metaphorically speaking. Your mind, your eyes, all your five senses take in information and push it into the mind. And the mind puts it back in, processes it, and shoots it back out before you. So literally, and there's deeper aspects to that. Y'all know I really don't do the conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. We just stick to consciousness in general. But conscious is something so-called just a factors, just the depthness of the mind. Just remember, y'all, the mind is within consciousness, but the mind has its factions as well, which ultimately don't exist, and we can prove it, but let's not go through it. But the whole point is that subconscious imprint to come forth to the conscious mind, to come forth to the front of the mind, is what the ritual is for. So if we understand that that's what the ritual is for, damn, it was a point I was gonna make with that. So if we understand then what the fuck the ritual is doing in the point of the ritual, then shit, damn, it was something you said, T, that I was finna piggyback off the back of, bro.
About the function of the spell?
The functioning of the spell. Damn,
saying funeral rites.
Oh, okay. So that was the way that culture would help imprint something on that subconscious mind of that person.
Right.
That's what I was trying to get to. So if we understand that, then this is why I say, if you want to understand spirituality, understand the whole function of the mind instead of picking a side. See, when you pick a side, man, the Egyptians been said this shit. We the Egyptians, we been did this shit. We did this. Okay, let's back the fuck out. Let's look at it as human beings. They were humans. Don't nobody disagree. They were in human bodies. And then let's go over here to the east and look what they was doing in India. Then let's go back over here into the ancient Americas. You see what they was doing. Then let's see if we can go to wherever the fuck else. There's a commonality. Why? Somebody can say, oh, there's a commonality because they were all visited by the same different gods and they spoke different languages. Or you can come to the understanding, oh, they all had a fucking mind. And if you understand how the mind works, simply put, The people who set up tradition and spiritual systems understood how the fucking mind worked. Why do you think that in every spiritual system there's always a methodology of repetition? Why do you think there's always a methodology of repetition and symbols? Ain't no God come down and zap in and say, hey, this is really what it is. Motherfuckers figured out how the mind works. Or the mind figured out how it works. He goddamn self. Probably better off saying that. But if we get to understanding the functioning of this motherfucker, then you get to understanding like I can bag the fuck back from choosing a specific. Because who's choosing that specific for one? What is that that's choosing that one specific and I'm sticking to this, it's only this. Everybody else is wrong. Don't nobody know what they talking about. This is the real. So if you sticking to that one fucking specific, you devoiding yourself of you being all of this shit. And when you figure out that you all of this shit, you can look back down inside the pot, aka all of this shit, look back down inside the pot and see the patterns that's swirling in this motherfucker. And how patterns start to form and how they start to create.
And if every culture is saying something around the same subject or symbol, then there's got to be something to it.
It has to be. It's going to check out. If you put it parallel to each other, which is what the occultists do, right? We see the hidden meaning behind all symbolism. That's what the point of an occultist is. You figuring out the hidden meaning behind all the symbolism. What tribes say? Behind every form there's a force. Okay, what I see the form. What the fuck is the force? Let me get back there and see what the fuck that is. Mm-hmm. Now you may have systems that play with it and make it seem a little bit more than what it is to the common mind and the common man. And you get in, maybe you get into that system and you get to understanding the symbols and this and this and this and that, but then you take it as knowledge and you don't embody it.
Right.
You'll take it as knowledge and cooler information. Now you done moved up to a new level, but you never embodied it. And those are the ones who saying, or they be like, and those Dion Fortunes or those, what's the name? Like, those are the ones who really ain't ready. They stay at this point. Like when we read the Gospel of Thomas, where Jesus pulled Thomas to the side, like, hey, Jesus asked them, like, hey, when y'all see me, what do you see? Everybody came up with all these what's the names. Thomas was like, shit, I can't even put in words of what you are, master. He was like, oh shit, okay, bet, come here. So this is the inner circle inside the inner circle. He got to tell him some shit. And the disciples asked him when he come back, like, hey, what Jesus tell you, bro? Shit, bro, if I tell y'all will pick these rocks up and stone me to death. Before the rocks even touch the ground, y'all will burn. I can't even tell y'all niggas. I got to keep it to my goddamn self. Because they wasn't ready to go past that. Their patterns that they were attached to, they weren't ready to go past that. And Jesus knew that, so he couldn't give that to them. What we believe, if he existed or not, don't give a fuck. Because it's living truth right now. Niggas can't take half of this shit that's been talked about on this channel. I'm only a fucking speaker. So if we understand that, by way of what is stopping you, what can stop you, who can stop you, and what is the concept of even being stopped, even being paid attention to? Stop from doing what? You existence itself. The fuck is gonna stop existence itself? Something in existence? What? Something in existence is gonna stop existence itself? And I know that may be a little far-fetched for some newcomers, but in reality, for those here who understand it, when we talk about standing on this principle, there's nothing to really to stand on. Because the one that's doing the standing and the thing that's being stood on are fucking one. And that's the way by all this knowledge is. They're telling you this information, but you're thinking this information is separate from you. You're thinking it's something you have to gain and take in. No, it's something to remind you and to point you back to fucking you. Put the mirror up to your motherfucking ass. Like, man, I think I was listening to Penny say something like, y'all think this shit really deep, and it's not. This spiritual really is really, it's the most apparent shit. It's so subtle that we just ignore it, bro.
Sometimes right in our face. I mean, most times right in our face.
I would even go to it, and I barely disagree with you. I'm gonna say, nigga, always. Nigga, always right in your face. It's never not. Rave 636, peace, bro. I ain't able to check the comments too much, but we talking about just being an embodiment of it, bro. It's right there in your face. It's never hidden. That's why I say, what journey of spirituality are you going through? It's always right there in your face. And it's not me being some cool nigga coming out, oh, I done found it, you niggas ain't found it. All the teachers before me was saying the same shit. I'm even going back and listening to the shit. I'm like, goddamn. They saying it, but we miss it because we so caught up in a itty bitty piece of information we trying to gather.
Right.
But if you pay attention, like, let's get an overview of what Panic said. Let's get an overview of what goddamn Bobby said. Let's get an overview of what Travis Majors is fucking currently saying now. It's there. You may even receive some methodology to this and this and that. But what's that methodology for? The methodology is trying to get you to realize it on the conscious mind versus the subconscious. It needs to be brought to the forefront for you to see. Or let's say, make it more obvious. But it's subtle. So we need assistance in making it more obvious. The thing is, we get attached to those signs and symbols.
Oh.
We get attached to those signs and symbols. Like bro just said. That's why I don't do all of that shit over here. It's enough of that. It's enough teachers doing that. It's time to wipe this shit the fuck away, clear your vision. So you can see clearly. What do we talk about with seeing? Natural seeing is without the ego projecting labels onto shit. So if we naturally go outside and look at a fucking tree, if we naturally go outside and look at the fucking ocean, before we can call it an ocean, before we can say, oh, this the Atlantic Ocean, what the fuck is it? You see color,
right?
You see shapes. You may feel a little wetness or whatnot. Just seeing it as raw, as what it is, not what you want it to be, not the definition we give it. Oh, the ocean does this, and
come on.
The ocean has this purpose around this. The ocean does that, and the ocean does this. See, the ego that's what the ego does. It's already projected and gave it a label and it gave it a title. Because what did we learn from our teachers? This shit is all chaos, all potential, pure potential. But once you put a label on it, you limit it. That's what we're trying to tell you the whole time. Once you put your label on this body and this what's the name, you limiting it yourself. So of course it's hard for you to see that you are everything in existence. Because you've put the label on it. The ego has put the label on it. You don't have to fight the ego away. You just need to realize what the fuck it's doing. If you see the con that the con artist is trying to pull on you, what effect is it going to have on you? Now you may go for what the con artist is doing just for shit and giggles. Fuck it, I'm bored. I make the con artist think I'm falling for his con.
That's a cold game.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, y'all niggas want to do the great big magic tricks, and nigga, the biggest magic trick is happening right here, nigga. The now. This shit is funny. That's why I say we think we doing something. We think we are the doers. When nature is the doer, Arjuna. Nature is the doer. He who knows the self knows that nature is the doer. It's hard to accept because we get talking about free will. we don't free. Who is this person who wants will to be free? Do we question that? Let's stop right there. Who is this that wants will to be free, to be used in the way that it wants to use it?
That's a good question.
And because I don't even really question that. Who is that? Who is that wants the will to be fucking free? That's the question to ask. And I'm
that insinuate, that insinuate that you're not free, and the only thing that insinuate that is that mind.
That motherfucker.
Yo.
That motherfucker is trying to get you to. Like I say, man, did God create man or man create God? I'm going to tell you, man created God. Because man, the mind, is in fear of the unknown. It's in fear of what it does not know. We all know that right now. Right now, let's just admit it. We niggas, if you're scared of anything, the only thing you are scared of is what you don't know. So the fact that I don't know, I need to create a concept that gives me this, I'll use this word, illusion of knowing. So I'll create a God, I'll create a heaven, I'll create a hell, I'll create an afterlife, I'll create this, and I'll create that. It gives me some type of comfort, even if it is hell. It gives me some type of comfort to know where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? Even if I know I'm driving through a dark or a sundown town as a black man in the 1940s, it still gives me some level of comfort that I know that I'm going through that town. So-called some preparedness or whatnot. It still gives me some. So now we come in with karma and reincarnation. Oh, so now this gives me some type of comfort to know that if I don't get it right this life, I can get it right the next life. If I fucked up this life, I can get it right the next time. Or if I get it right this time, I ain't got to come back the next time. It's giving me some form of limitation, some type of box to put this shit in to get some form of comfort. That's the question, niggas. That's the shit niggas don't want to read. Yeah, but hey.
Come on.
Because I'm seeing, you got to see the reality that's being created by the mind, bro. The mind is a cold motherfucker.
JL, check it. I was listening to this video about Gnosticism, and that was AI generated, so we'll see how far it goes. But, I thought it was pretty good info, a good breakdown. But it was saying that, like, in the afterlife, like, the main thing that they use is comfort. You know what I'm saying? They use comfort. And they, of course, quote unquote, they, you know what I'm saying? I'm of the full impression that y'all the broth and the archons is just the ego, the mind, and the body, and the different, templates of the body, etc. So I imagine it's, our mind that uses comfort to, bring us back here, depending on our own attachment, etc.
And I come to the conclusion that's all that shit is, bro. You see what I'm saying? And what I found from studying the Vedanta and study this non-duality is once you bring it to one, you understand it's like, oh, if the ego is like a phantom, it's like a mist, it's like a smoke. And the mind is like a mirror. It's like, oh shit. That thing can keep on recreating itself and reformulating itself back in this motherfucker. But check this out. Who's the one who's watching that person in the mirror? Who's the one who's looking through the fucking mirror? Who's the one who's observing the whole thing? That thing cannot be caught up in it. And that's just by pure logic. It can't be caught up in it. The one who's seeing that one who's looking through the mirrors, the one who's observing that one who's getting jerked around and fooled by the mirrors.
Right.
Motherfucker can't be inside of the house of mirrors. He's got to be outside watching it. That's the one that you are. That's the one that you are. So if we think about we can't have everything that we know, this is why I say all the knowledge that you get is all illusionary. How and why? Let's take it back to the third dimensional shit. All the knowledge that you get is third dimensional knowledge. You received it by way of third dimension.
Damn.
You are understanding it in the third dimension. You decoding it within the third dimension. And all you as a person know is the fucking third dimension. All knowledge is illusionary. That's why you get an OG like this who said, I ain't got to say it. What did he say? This is a question a student asked Maharaj. To become an engineer, I must learn engineering. To become God, what must I learn? You must unlearn everything. God is the end of all desire and knowledge. That is only that mind and that human body and this person who thinks he's a person that needs to learn engineering and needs to learn this and needs to learn that, including signs and symbols. God is the end of all knowledge. Because God is knowledge itself, so it's not all of these knowledge, these itty bitty bits and pieces of knowledge that you need to gain here. God, all knowledge is third dimensional. It is limited by time. Think about it. If there was no time, what concept of learning, ing, learning, or learned, ed, past tense, and learning, present tense? It's within time. God is outside of time. If we're using the concept of God, the self is outside of time.
Mm-hmm.
What you are is outside of time. So it comes to the point where you unlearn all of this shit. Not in an active, like, okay, I need to forget this, I need to forget this, I need to forget. You just need to recognize this, a recognition here that we're talking about. Because I know that can get misconstrued. It's like, okay, so how do I unlearn all this? It's not that. It's you need to recognize that you are the witnessing of all of this shit, but you stand on the outside of it. You have to. How else could you know something? You can only know things that are separate from you. How can I know that I have on a blue shirt unless I'm separate from it?
Damn, right.
How can I know that this is a vape unless I'm separate from it? You can't know your own brain. Your eyes can't see theyself. The only way you can see your eyes is through a mirror, through a distorted faction. And that's an intermediary. So by the time you see your eyes, it's a distortion. You have to use something separate from you to see you, aka a mirror. So the only way that nothingness or aim or God or consciousness or this cosmic P can know itself is by the illusionary reality that we live in. So whatever that is inside this illusionary reality that's thinking it's then gain all this high end knowledge that nobody, you know what I'm saying, whatever. It's all false. Ultimately, you can't know that which is outside of time when all you know is time. God is at the end of all desire and all knowledge. What could the all and all want to know?
Damn, for real though.
Because all of it is it. Go ahead, see, go ahead, please.
I was just gonna say I've never heard the description, you know, God is the end of all desire and knowledge. But like that makes a lot of sense because the end of knowledge, you know, taking it back to like was it I self, you know, the nothingness. So like in a sense there's no knowledge there. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time it's all knowledge. So like why you don't need knowledge. Yeah, and perhaps that's also might be indicating you don't need knowledge even to enter that state. What's the purpose of it for?
Exactly. If we work on ourselves back up the tree, all that shit that you had known, that you learned, it got to go. Because what's that? Who learned it? It's the ego. You know, the ego ain't going past off. What Miss Dion Ford just said? We talking about going up to Kether. It's so simple that the human mind can't get it. What does that mean? The human mind can't go to that state. This is why you get all these non-dualists talking about no mind. There is no mind. To understand this, you have to drop the mind. What do they you think they literally mean pick the mind up? Because you can't literally pick the mind up and remove it. So what are they saying? The mind, the highest level of the mind, the intellect, it can't go, buddy. It can't perceive. It cannot understand. That's why they say there's nothing to understand. What you gonna use? Some words?
Hey, great.
Words all the way down here. And simple words don't even describe what the fuck they're talking about. When you say a tree, the tree is not really a tree. When you say a dog, do you think dogs run around? Hey, we dogs. Human mind and ego gave them those names. The human mind and ego put limitations on this shit. Once you see through that, this is what we're talking about. Then you understand you beyond knowledge. You the source of knowledge itself. All of these things appear in you. The self, consciousness. The mind appears within you. And we know that because we always go through it here. You go through those waking, dreaming, and deep sleep states. That's why I don't take it up to the astral planes and all of that shit. Because all of that shit is handled when we talk about the three states. The waking, the dreaming, and the deep sleep. In the waking state, the mind projects outwardly. Grasp information and project the information back out. Your ego is highly active in a waking state. That's a cat, that's a dog, that's blue, that's green, that's water, that's juice, that's alcohol, that's piss, that's a fat ass, that's a little ass, and big titties, small titties. When you go into the dream state, the mind turns inward. You're not physically feeling anything, but when you're in a dream, you feel shit. You see shit. You hear shit. You taste shit and you smell shit in your dreams. The mind is doing the same shit in the waking state. It's creating the reality. But when you go into deep sleep, the ego is turned off, the mind's turned off, the senses are turned off. But there's still something there that knows. There's just no thing to be known in that state. There are no specific things to be known in that state. The thing what Coop just said, zoom out to ain't shit left. That's where we at with it. So, but these are the 3 states that every human being has. A lot of human beings can deny the astral planes, the astral projection in this world in the 4th, 5th, 12th, 39th millionth dimension. But every human being has had the experience of waking state and a dreaming state and a deep sleep state. Let's investigate that. That's what I talk about here. Let's investigate that, my nigga. What's that? That knows all 3 states. Undeniably. May not know how it knows it, but it knows it. And it even knows that it does not know. What is that knows that it does not know? Which means if I say I don't know,
right.
What is that can really recognize that it doesn't know? Because it knows that it does not know. Think about that. It knows that it does not know.
I was just inquiring about that about myself while I was driving the other day. Said, I don't know. I was like, fool, what you mean you don't know? Of course you know.
Of course you
How
know.
do you not know?
Come on, bro. What the fuck is that knows that it doesn't know? Which means it's before any knowing. That which does not know is there before it knows. Man, this shit is crazy. It's this paradoxical language here. There's no words for it. That's why they just call it Brahman. Because there's really no word to describe that thing, which is not even a thing, because you can't even put a finger on it and give it an accurate description. So it's prior to knowledge. That's what we mean. It's prior to knowledge. So even when you don't know, consciousness is there, observing things that it doesn't know, or no thing. So you are prior to knowledge. This is that Ein Sof and Ein Sofar talk here. This is that. You prior to knowing. Knowing comes from you. But if we getting caught up in trying to understand the manifest reality, which I'm not against. Cool, do it. But that ain't got nothing to do with knowing self or knowing the self.
I still think about that conversation we had.
What's that?
About when you're talking about self and the self.
We had on the phone.
Yeah,
Did I record it?
Reading in my head. We might have.
I think I recorded it and I'm gonna upload it. I just ain't uploaded it yet.
Yeah, I think
I recorded that, bro.
Man, that was good. That was so good, and it still goes in my. I still think about it often, just like that. Not necessarily the differentiation, but just emphasizing like self, and the self. You know what I'm saying? Just recognizing kind of how I see it when you're mentioning before knowledge or prior knowledge. I think of like pre-existence. Like right now I am pre-existing my future incarnation if I choose to incarnate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote. Right now I'm pre-existing that, even though I exist outside of time and space at the same time.
At the same time.
Shit. So even just that play on words right there is a conundrum. Yeah, I can't even use the words to accurately describe that state. You know what I'm saying? Of existence. I have to use negatives on negatives just to be able to convey like any context and meaning of that. That's
my nigga. And that's what we mean when we say like the human mind can't get this shit. So when niggas trying to talk to me about dimension, I hear it and I entertain it sometimes, but it's like you talking about going to this dimension and that. I'm like, bro, like you prior to all this shit. It's like, and you struggling and striving and trying to get to that shit. It's like my because I still stand on the shoulders of what my teachers taught. Niggas like Panic and Bobby's like, nigga, fuck all dimensions. Yeah, we talking about being through and done with the shit. Nigga trying to go to the next dimension and shit. Nigga, I'm like, what? Really? But what is that? Now we have to question, what is that wants to even go to the next dimension? It's that ego that's scared to be decimated. It doesn't know. It wants to try to continue to exist in that which it knows, in the realm of the shit that it knows. It needs something familiar to latch on to. That's why I say you get to breaking down and shit, you get to seeing that that's what all these spiritual systems are. That's what leaving a legacy is about. Trying to continue to exist. Even when that's the ego. It does not want to break away. It wants to stay and it wants to hold on to things the best way that it can do. Because it know this body gotta go. So what does it do? Come up with some concept of continuing to exist by way of whatever the fuck. Whatever the fuck a system says. That's what it's going to do. And all I say is just see it to be true that that's what it's doing. Now you can try to flip-flop your free will however the fuck you want to make it do whatever the fuck you want to do. That's up to you and your personal what's the name. But me, I see it as like, oh shit, okay, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I'm still tripping off the fact that nothing has become every fucking thing. I think we was reading Swami Vivekananda book. I remember back in like early 2024, I had that breakthrough, that realization. It was like, damn, you know what? I don't even give a fuck about reincarnating. And on the whole thing is like, I learned from my teachers, my OGs, like how to die, not to come back. And it's like, you know what? I don't even give a fuck no more. I don't give a fuck as long as I hold steady ground on what the fuck I'm doing right here, right now, this so-called life. I don't give a fuck. Why would I be bored? Go ahead.
But see, check it though. That's why I brought up the whole idea of the spells. You know what I'm saying? Spell. Why do a spell? Why? When the whole purpose is for getting out of here. How to not come back. Why would I use the spell? Why am I going to do a ritual spell for money when the whole idea of a spell is to not ever come back when I die?
Yes, when I die. See, and that becomes by way of, okay, I'm here, and if all of this shit is pure potential, I can make a pure potential of fuck it. Yeah, I see what money do around this bitch. Why not get me some? You know what I'm saying? Why not make a ritual to get me some if I can put it down, put it this way, by this way, and do it this way? Like, why the fuck not? See, and then because that's what my thing comes in. It's like, okay, I ain't even tripping on it, right? Just as long as you know that ain't some people use that as the ultimate goal, though.
Right.
Because they're trying to create this place on this earth, like what Jesus say, why store your treasures on earth where thieves and mold and rodents can get to it? Why not store your treasures up in heaven where no mold or no thief or no rodent can touch it? Now, occultly and esoterically speaking, what he's saying is to niggas who's living a whole life to build this legacy, to build this Fortune 500 company, or to have this and have that, and I own this and I own that, and look all grandiose. Like, fool, don't you know you don't get to keep this shit? This shit ain't forever.
Right.
Like, stupid ass nigga, like, get your money. Like, run your business, like, raise your kids. Like, but you do know people that got that laser focus on that type of shit.
That's that third dimensional knowledge.
That's that shit.
Can't break it back. You can't break it up. It ain't gonna bring it nowhere.
You ain't taking it nowhere, bro. Where you going with it, bro? Where you going with it, bro? Where's you going with it, bro? You know what I'm saying? It's like my thing, like, cool, get your bread. Like, I had the live the other day. I think you hopped on while I was talking about like how people think capitalism and its effects of capitalism is stopping somebody from being spiritual, or it's kind of putting a halt in your spirituality. When I broke it down, I'm like, oh, let's check this out. If we look at it, this thing that we call being, like a human being, this pure beingness, this, we can even use vital force energy, this vital force energy that continues to exist, that's continuing to exist, just makes everything flow with motion. Let's say that aspect is continuing to exist by way of direction of the ego. So if we understand that the ego is so-called natural to this place, and if we understand this whole place is nothing but patterns, we can look at India, the way that the ego is structured over there, and how that beingness itself continues to exist is different pattern from the way that it does in the West. Now, if you zoom all the way out, you will see it's still nothing but motherfuckers trying to survive. But let's zoom in a little bit. Now, India is going to do a little different. China's going to do it a little bit different. Niggas in America is going to do it a little bit different. The niggas on that island that ain't let nobody touch their goddamn island in hundreds of years are doing it too.
Yep.
They doing it too, to continue to exist. So if the way over here, if that's like, okay, if that's what's naturally happening with this so-called beingness itself, covered over by a sheath called a personality or ego, which has created a so-called tradition, which has created a so-called state of mind, aka United States of America, with its capitalism. What is this thing doing over here in America? It's continuing to exist by the patterns that's placed over this motherfucker. A job, a business, capitalism. So when you zoom the fuck out, what's evil about it? I'm not saying take niggas' lives for money, but that's part of the game over here, though. That's part of the game around the world, let's just say. Because maybe in a tribal location, they may kill a nigga because ain't that many goddamn goats left, nigga, and you trying to take the last goat. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's continuing around this motherfucker. So we got this capitalism over here. So if the problem becomes, well, you try to make an enemy out of something.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to make an enemy out of something, you have no choice but to live in a scarce mindset, in a fearful mindset, run away from mindset. And that's why I say we lack an embodiment of it. Let the happenings keep happening. Because the happening is going to fucking happen no matter the fuck what. Without your involvement of your so-called free will. Without your involvement. It's going to keep happening. And by goddamn, if it comes by way of you going out in the forest and living, goddamn it, do it. But if you're trying to fight capitalism so you can finally be free, you've missed it. Because I had to check myself like, damn, bro, whatever, a job this and a business this and this and that. And like, who the fuck is that who's opposing having to run a business, having to have a job, having to take care, having to do, having to pay, having to this? It's the fucking ego. It's trying to create another obstacle to go through, to overcome, I did it. It's trying to create, it's like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't got to drop it, but I realize what the fuck it's doing. I know now to not attach myself to, oh, I'm the businessman. Oh, I'm the best guy at the job. Oh, I'm the father. So I need to be respected like the real daddy.
Shit, I fired myself as CEO. Shit.
I seen you had that post.
I fired myself, bro. I looked at myself and I gave myself an honest evaluation. I'm like, no.
No.
No. And to be honest.
Hey, my nigga said, No.
Take it away. Take it away. You gotta take the title away. My ego's too obsessive with the actual title. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. Oh, let me read this real quick. Rave 3. See, I'm sorry I ain't been reading the chat too much tonight. My bad, y'all. But he said, question. In your opinion, how do you control your ego before it becomes uncontrollable? So, and by way of the method that I always speak on here, Rafe, no obstacles will apprehend you. If we looking at the ego as an obstacle, as a thing that needs to be controlled, remember, no obstacle will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. Those obstacles are literally opportunities for you to prosper over the pain, to prosper over the obstacle. Over, when we talking about over, when we talking about the opportunity, we talking about to be able to view it for what it is. I don't know if you've seen it earlier, but we was talking about like just natural seeing things as they are. When you figure out the ego is something that is not even to be controlled. It's a natural functioning process. The ego is only a process of saying I, me, mine. That's this, and I'm this. When you understand that's the natural process of this place, you figure out there's nothing to really control, because that's the ego who's coming up with the job of controlling. That's really just the ego coming up with that shit, bro. So it's the ego that's coming up with, I have to become better and become this and become that. If that happens, I mean, it does naturally happen, right? You start, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, that ain't no good. You'll start to notice, like when I stopped smoking weed, it wasn't, I gotta stop smoking. This shit is so, it come spontaneously. When it was the shit that I was doing in the streets, I had to start today. Matter of fact, yeah. I had to start today. For me to get out of the gang banging in the streets and, you know what I'm saying, shooting, trying to kill niggas and running with this gang in this hood and fuck that hood and this and that, I didn't really have to put no hard work in. Doing like, I gotta stop going outside trying to kill niggas. By way of me running into Brother Panic and Bobby fucking Hemmett, nigga, that shit dropped. It just fell the fuck off. It's like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was I thinking? That shit don't even boom. Boy, that shit ain't even, there was no urge left. So what I'm saying is, naturally, those things that need to fall off, they will. By way of you realizing and observing, by you being in that awareness state. Like I always say, if you realize the trickster is pulling a trick and you understand his trick, the trick has no effect on you no more. This is what I have found out. Now, anybody who has had any different, what's the name? Okay. But for me, what I've found out just by way of me putting a clear observation on the bullshit dropped.
You know, something I recently did a couple of days ago. I have, and I think it's probably because I grew up playing basketball. I love wearing high ankle socks, or like high socks, like going up to my shins and whatnot. I've been wearing that style for years, decades, honestly. And now, out of the blue, out of nowhere, I just decided I got ankle socks. You know, I've hated wearing ankle socks for a minute, like a hot minute, dude. I
Yeah.
can't tell you how much I loathe wearing ankle socks. Like it's just the thought of it right now, like it burns in my chest. But a couple days ago, out the blue, I was just like, I'm gonna wear ankle socks. I'm just gonna wear it. Because why do I even hate ankle socks?
That simple shit right there is a powerful fucking breakthrough. This is the way that we supposed to be looking at our shit. This is honestly, that's shadow work, if you want to call it that name. Because you looking at like, what is this ego doing saying that I don't like? Okay, what? Fuck that, I'm putting on ankle socks today. I don't even know why the fuck I don't even like ankle socks. It'd be simple shit like that, bro. Then you come down like, damn. I really can't figure out why the fuck I didn't even. That shit's stupid. And then just keep going. You see what I'm saying? Like, now we can easily harvest on that and be like, oh, because when I was 3 years old, my mother's best friend touched me and she had on ankle socks. What the fuck? We can probably go through that. But what I found out is when you harbor on too much of that, it's the same thing with all the signs and symbols. When you harbor too much onto that, the ego is going to find a way to latch on to that, and it's going to try to stay there. It's going to try to stay there. That's why, like, I'm listening to these little teachers of these masters, like, not to harbor on all of this shit. Okay, you got your concepts, you got your known, you know your what's the name. So they be telling, like Maharaj get to talking about concepts, and like, okay, the students ask, like, okay, so how do I let go of all these concepts? That's the point. You don't need to let go anything. You just need to understand the falsity of these concepts. You don't have to go through your mind and try to erase all of the concepts that you done learned out. That's not the point. Now you just gave your ego another job. Now the ego's like, ooh, cool. Okay, I get to do some shit. Ooh, cool. Okay, now I get to, when I finish doing it, I get to say I didn't overcame all this shit. You niggas ain't did it. I did it. Ha ha ha. You gotta watch that motherfucker. You gotta watch that motherfucker. It's tricky. Once you understand his game, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. I ain't even tripping no more. I was tripping because I thought I had some shit to get through and overcome. But now that I know all this shit that I'm trying to overcome is ultimately not doing any harm to me, it seems like that by way of my five senses. It seemed like that. But now I get it. This is a house of fucking illusions. Let me answer Marthar's question. Marthar says, my question is, so all evolution is illusion. I don't know why that's hard for me to accept that. It's hard for the mind to accept that things are gradually getting better. It's hard for the mind to accept that. But why is that hard for the mind to accept that? Right? Because the mind is the one that's projecting evolution. It's the one that entertains the idea of it. It created the idea of evolving. Now, within the mind, yes, evolution has to be real. But if we're talking about on a holistic level, as you, the observer of the mind, that evolutionary shit is only existence with inside of time. And if you are outside of time, because there can only be evolution with time being the main thing there. But if we outside of time, and we're talking about time is an illusion, because what did we talk about the other day? Hey, this is why it's hard for everybody to live in the now and stay in the now, because there's a misunderstanding. There's a disconnect there. Like, stay in the now, stay in the present moment. It's hard for people to do because we are always in the now. We are never not in the now. When you're thinking about the future, that's in the now. When you're thinking about the past, that's in the now. Even now doesn't exist if you really want to get into it, because by the time you say now, that shit is gone. And it's another now. And it's another now. By the time you realize it's now, there's no now. There's literally no time. Oh my God, think about that.
Yeah.
So what evolution? Evolution is memory. The whole concept is nothing but memory. So when you're thinking about the future and when you're thinking about the past, there's this memory bank. You're playing around with this memory bank of things doing this and things doing that. So I forgot what the fuck I was going to say. So we just, you can play around with the illusionary concept of evolution. That's cool. Like I tell anybody, that's cool. But just realize that ain't got shit to do with the motherfucking soul. What Bobby Hemmings say? That ain't got shit to do with the goddamn soul. The soul ain't no evolving for the soul. What is the soul going to evolve to? Now, the things that appear within the soul or appear within consciousness Okay, cool. The mind can come up with a reason why things are evolving. Fucking fine and grandiose. But we just need to come back to that cosmic P, Mothra, which I know you there. Fuck the mind. If the mind don't want to accept it, who gives a fuck? Let the mind entertain evolution. That's what I say. Same shit that I do with the shit that motherfucker probably say, you ain't spiritual if you're doing it. Nigga, I don't fuck all of that. Like the same shit dude just said. He got to the point where he said, fuck it. I've been reached that point. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I'm gonna put my gold teeth in my mouth when I want to. Go get a shape up, say bitch hoe. May watch Pornhub now and then. You know what I'm saying? Feel on my woman booty, suck her toes, make make fucked up jokes to my infant son of 5 weeks. Fuck y'all. It is not even really fuck y'all. It's just like, nigga, I don't understand. I understand this shit here. But the natural, see, that's the thing about it. Because we equate spirituality with a certain level of morality or a certain characteristic. Like some people be like, man, see, I ain't like them masters, teachers, this and this and that. Because that's why they said you never meet your heroes. Never meet your heroes. For one, you're gonna be looking at this person to be this, wasn't that body that you're meeting, that mind that you're meeting has patterns. The ego, the gurus from fucking India, the gurus in America, the gurus in China, they have fucking patterns, bro. You get over there to India, even all the non-dual teachers, you see they have patterns that coincide with the tradition of that geographical fucking location. You got to think about what language is. The mind is formulated off of language. So the language, the words that are used also have a fucking primary effect on the way that you think. We ain't even thinking about that. The way that we formulate words over here in English has a primary effect on the way in the process that we think. You're not getting around that. Or you can. Keep trying to do that shit. Keep on. I don't give a fuck to try to change all that shit. What I'm trying to get back to is the natural patterns that have already been placed on this body and mind. Fuck it. I'm beyond it. I know what I am. So the fucked up words that I use and say, or the jokes that I make, or the food that I eat, or the farts that stink, none of them make me more or less fucking spiritual. There's no more or less spiritual. Shout out to Zero. I wonder if he's still in here. Zero sent me a video. Zero, the Mexico hero, right there. He sent me a video. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. So Zero sent me a video of some of these spiritual so-called masters that I heard of, and some I haven't. Nigga, it's motherfuckers who found enlightenment from everything that all spiritual traditions say you shouldn't do. Everything that they say you shouldn't do. Bro, it was one nigga named Krishnamurti, it's two Krishnamurti that was in the video. Not the Krishnamurti that we all know, but it was another one. Went to all the teachers, rejected this whole concept of enlightenment, rejected this concept of God, rejected this concept of meditation, rejected every goddamn thing. Rituals, rejected everything every teacher said. They went to these teachers, these masters that a lot of us know, and just completely dismissed all of it and went on about their life and ended up still having the same realization that those teachers had. And he rejected all of the teachings, all of the practices, all of the methodologies, had the same thing. He refused to call it enlightenment though. But the way that he described it is the same way that those spiritual teachers and masters describe enlightenment. But he rejected all of it. Boom. It's another nigga. Found enlightenment like in Korea or China, something like that. Out there. He went crazy and drunk, so-called crazy, and drunk blood from a skull. Drunk human blood from a skull, and realized that all of this is a product of the mind, and the mind is an illusion. Found enlightenment. There's another nigga that fucked his way. I'm talking about all going straight to brothels, going straight to prostitutes' house, fucking every day, doing drugs every day, drinking every day, doing all the fucked up shit, eating fucked up food, fucking raw, getting drunk, getting high, and had the same fucking realization. Why niggas is sitting here trying to be the most pious and most moral and the most this. I'm not telling you to go out and do all of this. I'm just saying. There's no one way. What Bobby Hemmings say? You can't track it based off of some methodology. You think you're going to find the ultimate methodology? All the meditation tricks, all the rituals to realize who the fuck you are, and it's already, man, come on, man. Ain't no one way. This is the way that I know. This is the way that I've seen. This is the way that it's been quite clear to me. That's why I say there is no false teachers. All of this shit worked for whoever the fuck it worked for. And if it don't, of course niggas gonna say, man, that shit don't work. So let's see what Mothra said. Yeah, dumbass programming versus truth. The patterns resurface, but fuck the mind. SOP. The mind is what it is. Let's see. But we about to get up out of here, y'all. I ain't want to go past 2 hours and 30 minutes. Let's see. That's true. Present moment isn't real because there is no time. The presence one feel in the now is close thing to the P experience because it isn't a feeling but something more subtle. Facts. That's right. Fuck it. People put too much emphasis on shit. Facts, bro. Facts, bro. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. Also, nothing exists. No things exist. Is that the one, Mothra? UG Krishnamurti? Because I forgot the name. Because I thought the one that we know, everybody else know is it J Krishnamurti, I think. He don't mince words with this shit. His lectures are dope and for real. With a hit of nerve. I don't know what you're talking about right there. He wanted to do his own thing instead of following traditional. Now that's J Krishnamurti, if y'all who y'all talking about, but it's another Krishnamurti. Because I know that Krishnamurti was picked up by like Rosicrucians and all them, and he was trained in all the shit. And they tried to make him a what's the name, and he dropped out. J Krishnamurti dropped all this shit. Like, fuck all this shit. I don't want to be a part of none of this shit. But it was another Murti, Krishnamurti though. No way. The Hindus do not talk like that. He said Hindus don't like to talk about them though. Now, facts. Facts. Don't forget the one that died because meditate over there on Short Rock when he got enlightened, throwing his blood to the wall. See, it's so many type of people, bro. It's so many type of what's the name is like, bro. Zero, send it to Coop. Send that channel to Coop. I got it, but I do not remember the name of the channel. I love those enlightened masters because they are the real examples of waiting to know how to get enlightened. Much respect for every one of them. Facts. Oh, okay. So Mothra are telling you right there. He said no, not Jay. It's UG Krishnamurti. Okay, bet. Okay, that's the one. So look up that motherfucker story. Rejected every goddamn thing. Maharashi, everybody. Maharaj, he rejected all of that shit. All of the top dog gurus, that Buddha shit, rejected all of that shit. And end up coming to the same goddamn point. Here's the difference, though. Motherfucker, why? The motherfucker didn't just want knowledge. He wasn't trying to be smart. He wasn't trying to sound better. He wasn't trying to be The ego wasn't he wasn't trying to grasp this shit to be something more, even if it wasn't to anybody, just itself. Motherfucker wanted to know, to be it, to recognize it. Not to be smarter, not to be this, not to be that. Real deal, sincere about that shit. To the point where everybody say that's it. Man, I'm finna go see what's up. Man, fuck all that shit. That ain't it. What's up over here? Man, that ain't it. But they didn't give up. It wasn't no like, fuck it. Boom. It hit them. Right when the motherfucker was least expecting it. Boom. Dead smack in the face. Fuck out. Fuck out. Same shit. Hold up. Panic and Bobby been saying create your own shit and follow nobody. Simple as that. All a motherfucker can try to do is try to point you, hey man, this worked for me. I'm gonna point you this way. What has worked for me after going through the school of a Bobby, after going through the school of a Panic, I learned a lot of useful and appropriate shit. But still, their core underlying principle of their teaching it's already done. It's already done. What the fuck does that mean? It's already done. If we listen to Bobby shit, later day shit even more, he's telling you. And he always said it ain't no higher or lower and none of this shit. Even the ignorant motherfuckers out there, they're going to that place too. Everybody's going to the same place. It don't matter how much work you done put in. Everybody's going to the same place. Now I want to understand that it's actually not a place to go. It's a place. It's where you already are. It's what you already are. So go where? Do what? Become who? Become what? And the method that I seen that works is who the fuck am I? Asking that question. Sincerely asking who the fuck am I? Because the illusion starts after I am. I am is the solid. After I am, you put the next word. I am black. I am white. I am alive. I am dead. I am dreaming. I am rich. I am poor. I am spiritual. I'm light. I'm dark. Any word that comes after that I am is where the illusion starts. So who the fuck is this I? They keep saying it is this that's creating a separation from this to this. Who the fuck is that? Mainstream spirituality is not an attack on it, but nobody's addressing it. Everybody's trying to get you to focus on aliens and this and that and decentering from men and decentering from women and the divine masculine, the divine feminine. Look at this sign and symbol and break this down and then do that. Who is this I who's trying to understand all this shit? We skip over that. Why though? Because something's going to be found the fuck out. Something that's holding on is going to be found the fuck out. And it's not going to be progressive for that thing, which is the ego. It's not the enemy. It's just the functioning of this motherfucker. And all you need to notice is the functioning of this motherfucker. You can't grab the ego and murder it. You're not grabbing the ego and murdering it. Now, I do get the concept of ego deaths happening. So I won't disregard it in its entirety. But on a holistic scale, there's no murdering the ego. It's just realizing the ego is doing what it's doing and not concerning myself with the job and the task of doing away with it. Because what does the ego do? It puts labels on things. You need to know the difference between a fucking vape and a fucking bottle of water. You need to know the difference between a baby and a fucking pool of water. You need to know the difference between a lighter and a fucking refrigerator. That's what the ego's doing. So what murder ego? Even the spiritual teachers, you know they have a fucking ego, but they understand the functions of it and do not take identification with it. Let the shit happen as it happens. That's what it's doing anyway. Your heart's beating on its own anyway. I got a 4 or 5 week-old baby in there. He's not trying to free will his heart, free will a breath. It's naturally doing it. That's the functioning of this motherfucker. Let it do it. Because you're going to be in a world of trouble trying to stop it. Watch the bullshit you get yourself into. Maybe that's your pattern that you should be playing out, so play it out. But me, I figured out. There's nothing to fucking stop. There's nothing to run from. There's nothing to kill besides ignorance. Me being ignorant of the shit that's so fucking apparent that I'm the observer of all of these actions that are happening. And we're going to get up out of here. I'm going to let my boy T say any final words he want to say. I'm going to finish it off after my boy T, man. Go ahead, T. Anything, really, you can really, if you want to stretch it even longer, we got 20 minutes. I ain't want to go bad 2:30, but, you know, however you feeling, bro.
No, I mean, that was
high as hell.
Yeah, just that breakdown was just great. Man, every time I hear more, just like the difference just between like the mind and the self, you know, it's easy to attach to, this physical world. And, one thing that I thought about a month ago was like, I don't even know if this planet really is called Earth. We called it Earth. I have no idea where I am, how I got here, what this place is. I'm trying to remember now. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, but I'm also at the same time learning to appreciate the surroundings and also take in, beauty when I can. So, being able to appreciate, but also understand where I'm at internally, not necessarily externally, uh, is what allows me to kind of put away that question of, that anxiety question. Maybe it's even survival questions, of the mind,
That's
more
it.
questions of the mind. So it's good to hear that, and it's a good refresher, as a reminder to stay vigilant or even not vigilant. Yeah.
Real shit. Oh shit, bro. Stay vigilant or even not vigilant. That's the question. Is it or is it not? God damn, bro. Damn, that was hard, bro. Who is staying vigilant?
Right.
No, real shit. And that's the point of that who am I question. Because once you keep asking who is that I, that motherfucker gonna panic and disappear because it's not there. It's playing that game, bro. Listen, bro. I hate to cut your wisdom, but
you're good.
I'm just gonna say the mind, that ego, that bitch is cold. That bitch is cold. And now you probably won't hear a lot of spiritual. I see the beauty of that shit. That's a cold game.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a cold game, boy. That's a cold game. Go ahead, T.
Hey, and that's another aspect too. Sometimes you just gotta recognize game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You just at some point, and I think that strips away the illusion. It's just recognizing it, like when a person like I remember one time when I got beat in the game of 21 fair or square.
Yeah.
I didn't want to admit that I lost, but I had to just say, like, dang man, that was a cold 3. I did everything I could, but you still you got that shit right in my head, right in my eyes, man.
That motherfucker, they didn't want to accept it.
Nah, not my pride.
You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker's forever in defense, bro.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's forever in defense. Like, that shit is cold, bro. And that's why I say, man, you just sit back and watch that shit, bro. Watch how funny this fucking ego is, bro. And those are your archons. Because what does the ego do? It can put on so many fucking masks. Like I told you, that person that you think you are is nothing but a thought. It's a repetitive thought. It's trying to keep it's grabbing from the memory bank and repeatedly throwing pictures up and making them look consistent. It's just like a movie. A movie looks consistent, but we all know there's 60 fucking frames per second in this movie. 60 pictures being taken, showing within 1 fucking second. So it looks consistent, but it's not. That person that you think you are is nothing but a thought. Think about that. Me, who I think I am, is for those who know my name is Joe. Who I think I am is nothing but a thought in my head. Think about it. It's a concept of a person who has had these amount of experiences that has culminated up into this. It's nothing but a thought. It's not real. And we know we continuously. Have you ever had a thought that's not consistent with the person that you think you are? We've all had them. Them fucked up thoughts you don't tell nobody about. What about those? Or is that you too? If that's the case, how many thoughts do you have? They say the average person has 6,000 thoughts a day. Which one of those thoughts are you?
Dang.
Pick one, nigga. You got 60,000 to pick. So think about that, or don't think about it. Just realize and recognize that's what the fuck is happening. And then we get to talking about this illusion. Think how many scenarios your brain then created. This weird shit happened to me every time I walk outside on the balcony with my son. Every time this weird ass thought pop up. What if I just slip over and drop my son over the goddamn balcony? Like, what the fuck? I look at that shit and I be laughing. I'm like, bro, this mind shit so fucking, bro. I can't call it stupid, but it is stupid. It's like, bro, this shit this shit crazy as hell, man. That's why when you sit back and observe all of this shit, because that's how people get anxiety. They live with them thoughts. They try to stay present within them thoughts, and thoughts just keep coming, man. You're trying to latch on to some shit, and that shit just keep coming. But you get stuck with this one. Oh, what if this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened? We've all been there. I'm just saying, you got to realize that shit ain't what the fuck it is, y'all. We finna get up off this motherfucker, man. You got to go tend to the little one. With that being said, I got to say shout out to my nigga Magic motherfucking Don Juan, as I always call him. The Bishop Magic motherfucking Don Juan. Magic motherfucking Juan. That Osirian energy, my nigga. I appreciate you for blessing me and T with your presence, because you brought me and T together, my nigga. And T has been nothing but a blessing since I met him in my life. Straight up, been a solid friend the whole time. You've been there, Juan. From the day I met you at Brother Penny shit, bro, you've been a solid friend. And you've been such a free so-called individual that appeared in this fucking third dimension. And I don't give a fuck what they say about you, my nigga. You all right with me. You all right with me, my nigga. We appreciate you, Juan. Magic motherfucking Juan. This right here is dedicated to you, my nigga. Love, my brother.
Man.
Go ahead, T.
Shout out to Don Juan. That's the local, as I've always said, he's like a local underground or even underworld king. Because so many people know him, and like there's a reason for it. And I think that reason is definitely spiritual. And shout out to him, because he lived out and he partook in the actual Osirian myth throughout his entire life, and I can see that God force behind him, because through him now there's a new and updated Osirian myth through him, through him. You know what I'm saying? That's that embodiment. He wasn't just knowledgeable in the source. He actually embodied
the Osirian force. And I want to give a shout out to him. There's so many different variations of this Osirian force too. The pan energy, the jokester, the jester. There's so
Come
many
on.
aspects of it, just as if Brother Panic too. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Juan, and it was a pleasure meeting you because I met that nigga at a bookstore of all places, just driving randomly. You know what I'm saying? Seeing him rock that Zara Banda shirt.
There's our
So,
banda, Zara banda, Zara banda.
yeah,
Say,
shout out, man. So appreciate
man,
you.
man, most definitely, bro. As you see, we sending that love back through the Akasha by way of sound, nigga, the most primal of the 5 elements, Akasha. We just want to say we love you. Everybody in here, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And y'all know, as we always say, no obstacles will apprehend you. Prosper over pain. You prosper over that pain by realizing that's not an obstacle. That's an opportunity for you to realize the self. Always take the opportunity to observe your one-sided opinions, your one-sided thoughts, and your fucking emotions. That's the real work. Once you observe it and see the falsity of it, watch that shit fall away. Peace, love, and hair grease. Yeah, bitch.